Welcome to the School of Worldcraft and Worldmancy. This is Feedback Frenzy.
Hello and welcome to Submit Saturday, where we are reviewing 1,500 words of fiction or world-building articles submitted by anyone in the chat. Thank you so much for being here as we go ahead and we get into the work. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this article that was submitted by Kitoypoy and from the world of Wizard's Peak and the Zone. Now, this is an article on vampirism. Yesterday, whenever you saw that previous video, we had the vampirism article. We had the King of the Vampire articles. So now we're going to learn about vampirism in the world of Wizard's Peak. So let's just take a quick look. Okay, looking pretty straightforward here. Some headers. We have the Valentine, King of Vampires. That was the previous article we did. Ooh, Blood Moon Covenant. That sounds cool. All right, and it's a summer camp. This is a condition considered monstrous or unlucky by some. A diamond level prompt from World Anvil Summer Camp 2022. All right, so let's take I'm starting to have a soft spot in my heart for the instructor of recruits in Sergeant Killflayer. I don't know why. Hey, Zudin, welcome. Because they're awesome. That they are, kid. Okay, starting at the beginning. While being a vampire is not illegal here in the Concordant Zone, practicing non-consensual vampiric feeding and murder still remain illegal acts. The Zone Ministry of Edible Authorization provides a list of consensual blood donors and authorized non-sentient blood sources for our vampiric citizens. Yeah, okay, Okay, Sudan, what Kitoypoy is doing with many of the articles that he's submitted here is that he begins the article, and I like this technique, of having two quotes from characters that are within the world. One of being this instructor of recruits, the soul-forged head instructor at the Orientation Auditorium in Golden Arrow Station, and then Sergeant Killflayer, a gruff, no-nonsense co-head instructor at the Gold Arrow Station. He isn't afraid to tell it how it is. And it provides a really odd couple, if you get their TV reference, a really odd couple approach to introducing the article. And I really like this technique because here we have the very dry, matter-of-fact, clean, precise introduction here by the instructor of recruits with a little bit of dry humor every once in a while. And then we have Sergeant Killflayer, which is a full-blooded orc who, like his introduction says, he tells it how it is. So here we have a nice opposition of opinions, being the white collar, blue collar, ivory tower, ditch digger type contrast. And I really like that approach because immediately it brings us into the world, it gives us the information, it provides a human flavor of why this is important and why should we as players care about this. Oh, thank you. I thought it was a movie or other modern cultural reference. I don't know much about modern culture. You know, I don't really want to learn much more about modern culture myself sometimes. All right. So here we go. So two great characters. All right. So now we've had our introduction by these two. Let's dig into it. Vampirism is a supernatural curse that transforms mortals into ageless, undead, Ravenous for blood, ageless undead, ravenous for blood and sensation. Okay, we need a couple commas in there somewhere. Yeah, I did. Oh, no, I didn't. You're right. Vampires are just like normal people, and that's the problem. They just have an insatiable hunger for the blood of the living and a severely impaired sense of morality. Some of them feel like this gives them an excuse to be ungentlemanly. Give them a warm bottle of hemoglobin or sing wine, and they're almost like normal people. Yes, a very matter-of-fact quote by Sergeant Killflayer. Ungentlemanly. You know, self censorship there. All right, so good. Yeah, again, and so you can see the difference between the two people. So Sergeant Flair still, doesn't, they're just normal people, and that's the problem. Oh, it gives them an excuse. Okay. All right. You're right. Maybe I could have picked a better
Sprinters
word
and marchers.
than
Time is up.
ungentlemanly. No, it's. I was trying to think of a word really quickly as I was reading through this. Uncivil. Yes. Excuse to be uncivil. Yeah, you're right. Definitely not all male. Vampirism is a supernatural curse that transforms mortals into ageless undead. Ageless undead. Then I'd put a comma there. Ravenous for blood and sensation. Yeah. And see, that's the wonderful thing about editing or the fine-tuning of these articles is that you can go through and you can pick the word. You know what? For Sergeant Killflayer, that is the perfect word for him to say. I don't choose to say that word, but that is the perfect word for him to say because it's in his character, it matches his style, his gruffness, his attitude. And so, yes, that is the perfect word for him to say, even though I don't choose to say it. That is not dead, which can eternal life, yet with strange aeons even death may die. H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I would put a comma after the word undead here in the first one. New vampires are essentially monstrous, unable to control their hunger. Good. They wantonly kill their victims. Oh, I love that word. Wantonly kill their victims, creating angry mobs that hunt down and destroy any undead they can find. As vampires age, they gain more control of their hunger, and more of their previous personality is able to come out. Unfortunately, many vampires are never able to think of the living as anything more than food. Editing as we go, as always. Okay. Yeah. I would, as vampires age, I think that's a new concept that you have here. The first one is talking about vampirism and its savagery, and then you get into the as vampires age. I think that then talks about how they try to be civilized. So I would break that you have the two concepts in one paragraph. I'd break that into two paragraphs so that you have the one that deals with savagery and you have one that deals with civilization. So yeah, I would put that. But then again, I'm a fan of small paragraphs because I don't know, because becoming a vampire. The simple act of feeding does not pass on the curse. Oh, okay. Many have been the victims of vampires without becoming one. The vampire has to pass it on intentionally by bringing their victim to the brink of death and then allowing the victim to feed on them. The newborn vampire rises as spawn under the control of their maker until the maker dies or releases them. Interesting. So if you're just, you got your straw and you're slurping away at the bag of flesh, blood bag there, it doesn't make them a vampire. Interesting. Okay, well, that's good to know. Vampirism is closely related to the condition that aswangs, dark spirits, are ordinarily transported in one by time. Oh, okay. That aswangs have. They are sometimes indistinguishable from each other. Vampirism, however, is a supernatural curse placed on a dead mortal. Aswangs are usually still alive and infected with the parasitic black chick. Okay. The main difference in types of vampirism are what they feed on.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Better start writing anyway.
The vast majority of them subsist on the blood of the living. Other types feed on mortal flesh, spinal fluid, dreams, thoughts, life energy, or embryonic fluid. Okay, so I'm going to just jump right into the expand here. The question I have is, because that is really interesting. Is this a life choice, or is this driven by the type of vampire that converted them in or transformed them into becoming a vampire? So I'm just wondering. That's just the immediate question that I have here is, if you have some that feed on flesh versus drinking blood, or these other things, is that a choice? I'll expand on it post summer camp. Excellent. Okay, living with, I love, living in quotes, got it, love it. Living with vampirism. Babacus, welcome, and welcome to Submit Saturday. The Kirinal Concordance Zone, vampires are allowed to dwell among the population as long as they bear the identahedron, crystallized soul shards used as identification for the communication in the Concordance Zone. Okay. And agree not to non-consensually feed on mortals. Okay, we have the two double negatives. We have a double negative. To not to non-consensually. It may be more smoothly, and agree to limit their feeding to consensual mortals, or mortals who have given consensus, or something like consensual mortals, yeah, and agree to feed on consent-giving mortals. Okay, it's just this double negative here. I think that we can just take the double negative and turn it into a single positive. Right. In exchange, they are provided with volunteer mortals in blood bars. They are also provided with artificial substitutes with names such as hemoglobin, sanguine, and mother's mead. Okay. Now, again, an expansion question that I have here. Do they have to bite the humans? Made with real goblins. And you could have flavors of hemoglobin depending on which goblins in which part of the world that they are made from. Here we have a nice vintage of 2022 hemoglobin made from the goblins of the Pacific Ocean that gives us a nice briny flavor. Here we have a 2020 version of hemoglobin made by the gnomes of Switzerland. Their high Yeah. These goblins only eat sweets. Yeah, these are grass-fed hoblins. These were fed purely on beef, or these are fed purely on chicken. I don't know if goblins in your world are sentient. They may be, but um, so okay. So with these, I mean, because a goblin, if they only need to donate blood, like it's the Red Cross, it's the whatever equivalent is, they live, they and every if they are willing to follow a specific diet, they once a month or whatever you determine, once a month go into the place and just donate a pint. Yeah, they can just donate. Yeah. And that could be, I played D&D and thought all goblins were sentient. I That is true. I just did not want to make the assumption of that in Kit's world. I used Hemogoblin because the pun was right there, and I'm a cheap date. Yes, the puns, dad energy, love it. Also with Sangwine, I really like that pun as well. Mother's Mead, that's a new term. Haven't heard Mother's Mead before. So that's going to be cool. So, okay, but like in exchange, they're provided with volunteer mortals at blood bars. Does that mean the mortal goes in and sits there and lets the vampire consensually bite their neck and drain them? Or is that a similar situation where they go in and they donate a pint of blood and they can go in and, you know, hey, top me off with a pint. You know, give me the, I want some 6-month-old O negative. Ah, no, you want the AB positive. That's the real flavor. You know, I think they pay more for the bespoke biting experience. Oh, yes. Yes. That would be in the back room. Instead of drinking from a glass like a mortal. Yeah. Oh, and definitely they could, they have the consent person who's willing to be bitten, and that could be a whole kink. But also, there's a big bodyguard to make sure they don't go too far. I've heard that in vampire law, they only take enough to say, but they won't kill. Satisfy, but they won't kill. Yeah, that's good. So, I mean, Hemogoblin, Sangwine, and Mother's Mead, Necromancy. Oh, so did the pun. Necromancy. If you don't have necromancy in your world, you could just give that, you could use that as your alternate to necromancy. The that's the name of the desire that people enjoy, the being bitten by vampires, are necromantics. I've just named my blood bars in the world necromantic. That's cool. Okay. Warding, that is totally a brand name. Oh yeah. The Necromantics Bar and Grill. Because you have some people who like to eat flesh, but maybe not a bar and grill, if they like their flesh. In the vampire law, the mortals get a kick out of it too. Maybe. Well, yeah. Okay, we're not going to go there. Okay. No. Anyway, despite their official status as accepted, sophants in the zone. Despite their official status as accepted sophants in the zone, many still do not trust them and seek out apotropaic methods. I don't know. methods to keep them at bay. The traditional methods to repel them, garlic and silver, need a comma between them and garlic. Traditional methods to repel them, comma, such as garlic and silver, still work. Sunlight and running water still kills them. In addition, as undead, they're especially vulnerable to divine magic of clerics. I just don't know how to pronounce. I believe you that it's a real word. I just don't know how to pronounce it. Apatripic. Powers to avert evil influences or bad luck. Yeah, an adjective supposedly having the power to avert evil influences or bad luck. Something from comparative mythology. Yeah, I just don't know how to pronounce things. So yeah, this is fun, and I really like articles like this, and I still think that these kind of articles will, people might say, well, everybody knows what a vampire is.
Great job, sprinters. It's time to rest.
Marchers keep going.
Yes. Do we need to get rid of the timers on Submit Saturday? I know I like keeping them for the people who are here, but maybe we need to mute it or something. Let me know your thoughts. I really think an article like this is important to have in your world because people might say, oh, everyone knows what a vampire is. Well, not in your world. They don't know your version of a vampire. I mean, for all the that you for all of the what do you call it? For all of the love and hatred with Stephanie Meyer's Twilight series, I'm really glad she took a strong, bold step and redefined her version of vampires. Love them or hate them, she made a strong statement and didn't let anyone assume how vampires in her world worked as compared to the Bram Stoker Dracula or something of that nature. So if you're going to be using these common tropes, if you're going to be using the Tolkien-esque characters, the TTRPG characters like from Dungeons and Dragons, I would still include articles like this so that people can understand how they work in your world and that you can be able to do that. Even if you play Masquerade, Masquerade is, I think, a TTRPG vampire game. Even if you play Masquerade, there are at least more than one type of vampire. Yep. Greg, you are a DTM? Don't diss yourself. We all have complementary strengths. Distinguished Toastmaster? Yes, I have read Twilight aloud for an ESL student. I did not like it, but nonetheless, very well crafted. Yeah. And see, that's what I like about it is you can use these common tropes such as vampires and ghouls and goblins and elves and dwarves and stuff like that, but you can still make it your own. One of the really cool things in the Marvel world, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is the dwarves look like dwarves, but they're 20 or 40 feet tall. The dwarf that helped Thor make Stormbringer in Endgame, I think it was, and very well acted, still a dwarf. He was just 40 feet tall. And I really like that, how they put that twist on it. Things can be well made, but not for you. I wish more people realized that. Completely agree. Don't rain on other people's fandoms. Yeah. Yeah. And Masquerade, I'm sure, is a wonderfully entertaining game that I will never participate in. So thank you so much, Kitoypoy. I really love your world and the detail that you put in your articles and stuff like that. So if you would like to read more, provide some comments, you can visit the link I just put in chat for Kitoypoy's Vampirism article. And thank you so much for watching this portion of our Submit Saturday, where we review 1,500 words of fiction or world building articles. If you would like to have yours submitted in a future Saturday, please visit wgc.bz/submit, and we'll get to it. Thank you so much, and have a good one.
Thanks for watching this Feedback Frenzy. Be sure to show your support by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell. WriterGreg offers coaching sessions to help bring your world to life, create compelling stories, and accomplish your creative goals. Please visit wgc.bz/coaching for more details.